There is one technology, first developed in Britain, that underpins nearly every aspect of modern life.
Not many people know the industry actually exists.
Whatever you're interested in, this industry can help you.
The industry is refrigeration and air conditioning. Imagine a world without it. Most manufacturing depends on cooling at every stage. Organ transplants and blood transfusions would be impossible without cold storage.
Within Marks & Spencer's, 40% of our business is in food refrigeration.
A home would be very different without a refrigerator.
All drugs are manufactured on conveyor belts which have to be chilled. Things like plastics have to be set.
Air conditioning provides a comfortable interior in offices, shops and cars. It's essential in an operating theatre, and it keeps people alive on an aeroplane. If a satellite's components weren't cooled, they would burn up under the direct heat of the sun.
All technology is based around the ability to keep it cool.
Overheated telephone exchanges crash. So do internet servers.
Your television would stop working, your skybox that you rely on so heavily in your mobile phone, everything right down to your Xbox 360.
This documentary is to show to the youth what we can do, what is possible.
Refrigeration is growing and evolving. It needs practical people, scientific people, creative people, business people. It needs bright people who understand what can be achieved by a simple principle.
You can spout on about the first law of thermodynamics and everyone thinks, goodness me, what's this guy talking about? But basically you're saying that energy can't be created or destroyed. All we do is shift it from one area to the next.
But you don't actually consider how the heat gets out of the bottle, but doesn't heat up the fridge.
Once you understand the principle of displacing heat, the possibilities are enormous. At a time when energy conservation and climate change are vital agendas, displacing heat efficiently and the method of doing it has become a leading-edge science.
The refrigerator at home works on the principle of a heat pump, so it takes the heat from the fridge and it pushes it into the space, making the space warm.
Of the 20 million homes in the UK, many use inefficient and expensive forms of heating. The heat pump can solve this problem.
They have the opportunity to significantly reduce carbon emissions, so greenhouse gas emissions, and at the same time produce very efficient, low-cost heating.
In the face of climate change, refrigeration, like all industries, needs to become ever greener.
We need to move to better system. We need to change the type of refrigerant we are using.
Refrigeration is principally achieved by the compression and expansion of gases. The refrigeration industry is looking at ways of increasing the use of natural gases in this process, such as carbon dioxide.
Even if you've got leakage, refrigeration leakage in the system, it doesn't affect the environment.
Most underground train systems were built at a time when no one imagined today's level of use. Heat is a big challenge.
We're now requiring to keep tabs on those temperatures to make sure they don't get to levels where it could be harmful to health or equipment.
In addition to improving the ventilation, there is now an innovative groundwater cooling scheme.
This took cold groundwater from the underground river sources at Victoria, passed through a heat exchanger, and then this cold air was circulated into the platforms.
While the industry needs people to take it forward into new areas, it also needs people at all levels to maintain and improve a vast existing technology.
A major part of our operation relies on refrigeration engineers, from designers all the way through to the service and maintenance people that keep these operating on a day-by-day basis.
The technology that gave birth to modern refrigeration was the mechanical gas compressor in the 1880s. Today, with computer-aided design, a compressor can be designed and fully tested in the virtual world.
You can get very much near the final design in one hit, rather than having to get down and use a spanner to make the adjustments.
Computer-aided design is enabling designers to push the boundaries.
It's very much to do with performance enhancing of our product and developing it to improve the market.
Yet, however the designers, researchers, scientists and creative thinkers may take the industry forward, the backbone of the industry is the hands-on engineer.
Without them, the industry doesn't work. You can design as much as you like. If the guys aren't there to put it in and maintain that equipment, then it's not worth anything.
The hands-on engineer also plays a very important role in the industry in understanding what can be done.
On the tools is the best way to learn anything that you could want to learn in refrigeration. Being in the design office now and having graduates around me, they quite often come to me looking for what something looks like on the inside, how something moves, things like that.
Design in a virtual world is only effective if it's based on knowledge gained in the very real world. There is plenty of opportunity for the hands-on engineer. Take a typical supermarket.
There is installation engineers which just concentrate on installing. After that you then get the commissioning engineers, then you get the service engineers that will then look after that on a regular basis of breakdown and maintenances.
We'd clean the filters, located down there, check the pressures of the system, the discharge, the suction, various safety switches just over here, protect the plant from going.
We can't get enough engineers to cover all the work that's there. You can work 24 hours a day if you really wanted to.
And all these products and services have to be brought to market.
Not everybody has to be a technical specialist. You still need somebody to sell the equipment, and by selling, it's not foot in the door type sales that a lot of people seem to believe. If you're selling refrigeration systems, there are people out there that need them.
It is also a good industry for those with an entrepreneurial talent.
Many of the companies are small companies owned by individuals that have built those companies up from scratch.
Anybody that can design a system that uses a bit less energy than its predecessors is going to find a very big marketplace for it. Anybody that can use new refrigerants that don't deplete the ozone layer or significantly contribute directly to global warming is also going to find a big marketplace.
And an industry worth nearly £500 million annually needs people who can run businesses at all levels.
Anything from where I started from, which is an office junior, to service desk work, to even accounting.
Central to a high standard is the encouragement of young people.
I've got good support from my company and from my teachers at college. Well, the managers, supervisors, engineers that I used to work with, they're always a phone call away if I needed any help.
Always superheated gas.
Once you've got a bit of qualifications, a bit of experience, you can earn as much as you want, so you're learning and you're earning at the same time.
Some companies will sponsor people through higher education.
One of the directors of the company who asked if I was keen to continue to learn, they said find a degree that you'd like to do.
My employer pays for the course, the books, the travel, everything really.
British refrigeration is highly regarded, and British refrigeration expertise is in demand around the world.
A reasonable example would be the project that we're working together on now. We're working as part of a team that involves people from Japan, a team in Italy, a team in the US and some in China.
You can put in for an internal transfer, maybe work in Boston for a few years.
I try and learn to say please, thank you and beer in most languages.
As a leading edge industry, refrigeration values ideas and lateral thinking.
There's a lot of freedom to develop designs and put forward ideas right from the very first instance that I joined, fresh from university.
New technologies have to be thought up somehow, and it isn't always somebody sitting in a research lab. Sometimes it is the people on the ground that are putting the stuff together that suddenly think, oh, actually, this is being wasted.
And it understands the need to pay well.
I see our engineers regularly out and about driving some very nice cars, so they're obviously doing very well for themselves.
I'm actually doing better than the majority of my peers in terms of money and package.
I came into the trade about 15 years ago. I was working my way up from just being basically a truck driver's assistant. I started my business about 5 years ago and thrived ever since.
I've gotten involved quite a lot in development and future works. I'm now learning about what's in the future and what's to come.
The refrigeration and air conditioning industry offers practical and theoretical skills, a range of job types and good earnings. Qualifications offered range from modern apprenticeships to PhDs.
There's so many different prospects within the industry that until I really came into it, I would never have believed it.
You're not sitting in one place, you're interacting with customers, you're meeting new people.
There's not actually enough engineers. It's a job for life.
My job, I've got a chance to investigate and design and develop technology that can change the world.
To find out about training and job opportunities in refrigeration and air conditioning, visit www.careersincooling.org.
Come on.